thing money can't buy is your mama. She's for free and everybody knows it.
Carol's early years wasn't an easy one. Raised in a dysfunctional home, by abusive alcoholic parents. After her mother passes away, she is left in the care of her father, who would later abuse Carol, sexually, at the age of 11. Shortly after her father remarried, she would be placed into foster care. A 17-year-old Carol meets an older gentleman and even later agrees to marry him. But that wouldn't last. By the time Carol was 37, she had walked away from 3 marriages already. Carol had eyes for a married man. The apartment manager, Jack Murray, who was a local country singer. It was clear that she had become obsessed with him. She approached his wife and offered her a bribe to leave her husband. But that move only got Carol evicted. Either way, she kept pursuing him. The year was 1980. Carol was out on the town hanging out at a bar called Little Nashville. The venue Jack was performing at that night. She meets a man by the name of Doug Clark. Douglas Daniel Clark was born on the 10th of March 1948. Doug's father, Franklin Clark, was a naval intelligence officer. Due to his father's job, his family would move around a lot, claiming to have lived in 37 countries. His father would leave the Navy for a position as an engineer, but the family continues moving around to different locations. Doug would attend an international school in Geneva, later attending Culver Military Academy. Eventually enlisting in the U.S. Air Force. But would be discharged. Doug does different jobs for a while, quitting from some, and getting fired from others. One of Doug's favorite watering holes was a bar called Little Nashville. It was there where he met Carol. A relationship soon followed, with the couple moving in together shortly afterwards. Something Carol and Doug would like to do was to share their sexual fantasies. But after a while, their discussions changed from simply sharing their fantasies to actually experiencing it. Making their fantasies a reality. They finally agreed on a third-party participant, inviting someone to join them in the bedroom, which were mostly prostitutes. After a while, Doug's fantasies grew darker, saying he wanted to kill a girl during sex.
Why would anyone want to kill during sex?
To experience something called the death spasm. Apparently, that's the moment the woman's muscles would contract, which includes the vagina, at the moment she is shot. Need I say more? It's June 1980. After arriving home one night, Doug confronts Carol, and admits to recently killing 2 teenage girls. He describes the event saying, he picked the girls up on Sunset Strip. Once in his car, he forced them to perform oral sex on him. He shoots them in the head, rapes the dead bodies, before dumping them on the side of a freeway. The victims would later be identified as Gina Narano and Cynthia Chandler. Weeks later, Doug strikes again, killing 2 more women. The victims are Karen Jones and X.E. Wilson. His MO was the same. Shooting them, then leaves the bodies on the side of a freeway. But this time, Doug does something different. He takes home a souvenir. He takes home X.E. Wilson's head. Yes. Before dumping their bodies, Doug cuts off the poor woman's head, storing it in the fridge, alongside the milk and eggs. Probably. X.E.'s head would be found dumped in an alley. Human remains believed to be that of a young woman, was later discovered in the San Fernando Valley woods. She was identified Marnette Cummer, a runaway. It was later estimated that Marnette died approximately 3 weeks prior to her discovery. Doug later confessed to killing Marnette, making her his first kill. While Doug was out killing girls, and raping the dead bodies, Carol would be out, chasing after Jack, always making an effort to see him perform. After his show, they would usually hang out together. During one of those nights, at the bar, a tipsy Carol decides to share some of her and Doug's secrets with Jack. But Jack doesn't share her enthusiasm. Stunned by what he hears, he tells her he's not sure if he could live with her secret. The guilt would motivate him to inform the authorities. Carol was smart enough to know that getting the authorities involved would not be good for business. Realizing her mistake, she had to convince Jack not to talk. But how? Sometime in August 1980, after Jack's show, Carol would tempt him to join her in his van. Once inside, Carol pulls out her gun and shoots Jack, killing him, followed with her removing his head. Later, Carol confides in a co-worker that she killed Jack Murray. The shocked co-worker calls the police, leading to Carol's arrest. Doug was arrested shortly afterwards, with the police finding the murder weapons hidden at his workplace. Carol Bundy was charged with 2 murders. Douglas Clark was charged with 6. Doug chose to represent himself. His strategy was to prove that Carol and Jack are the actual killers. But that didn't go as planned.
Verdict and sentencing.
Douglas Clark was found guilty, and sentenced to death. Carol Bundy receives a combined sentence totaling 52 years, for killing Jack Murray, and after witnessing the murder of an unknown victim. But, in the end, Carol would only come to serve part of her sentence. She dies from heart failure on the 9th of December 2003, at the age of 61.